There we go. So, do I have people in the house? There was some technical issue and I was like killing myself, but are you here? Everybody can hear me fine. All right, all right, all right. So, I'm all right. So, I need you to like, I need you to comment, I need you to tell me that I'm not alone on this thing. That would be wonderful. All right, let me just click on a few things. All right, so, well, okay, I've got thumbs up. I've got people coming. That's wonderful, wonderful. Welcome. I don't know if you know that, but this week is the International Coaching Week. And I took upon myself to make a little class on something that's very important to me because I see that it can seriously transform lives. So I hope you are with me. I'm trying to breathe because that was a little bit stressful what just happened. But yay. So let me set up the mood. Let me put the right vibe. And I will start by reading a little bit of Nelson Mandela speech. He did that in 1994, and I think it's the most incredible speech ever. So let me start off by saying, once again, welcome. So happy you're here. Yay! So let's do this. Nelson Mandela said, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frighten us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, to be successful, to be talented, to be famous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing noble about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We are born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just for some of us, it's for everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we liberate ourselves from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Wow. Isn't it amazing? Welcome to Change Your Narrative and Change Your Life. My name is Christy Evenepoel. I'm a life coach and stage presence expert. I'm just going to introduce myself a little bit for people that don't know about me. So I'm a Belgian girl that decided to dream big and left Belgium to go to New York at 17 because I wanted to do some Broadway show. Why not? And I gave myself a year to see if I could fit there. and I was there for more than 8 years. I succeeded after a lot of work, sacrifice, determination. I was on Broadway on stage. But then I realized that I wanted to help performer to be present on stage, to surprise themselves once again on stage. And that's how I started coaching. I started to coach performers and then athletes. And then my journey continued on a spiritual path. And then I came back to Europe and decided to do a master and to be a life coach so I can help people transform their life, surprise themselves once again, feel truly alive, and just be aware of their power. That's what I love to do. So, what are we going to be talking today? Let me set up the scene. Let me let you go into the details. So, I will talk about the brain. I will talk about self talks. I've got few stories. I've got examples as well. And then at the end, we will see how we can re- rewrite our life stories, how we can gain control of our narrative and change our life. So I need you to be very serious about this, what's happening. I need you to take notes. If you have some pen, some papers, I need you to write things down. I will have some questions for you as well. And if there is just one or two things that you will be able to take away, some wisdom, some tools, some inspiration, write it down. So you've got the proof, you've got something concrete with you. So let's start by saying that you are the story you tell yourself. And you have the power to make it good or to make it depressing. You are the creator, the writer, the leading role of your own movie called My Life on Earth. Everyone has a story. Everybody has the beginning, the middle, an end. We all come from mothers. We all struggle to walk, to write, to eat, to talk. We all went through obstacles, incredible happiness, emotion, breakdown, breakthrough, victories, deception. Some of us, we went through trauma and depression, some hard stuff, but most of all, we have survived it all. We are here, we are alive. So, what is a narrative? A narrative is the way you share your story and how you make it alive. You can make your story and look like a victim, or you can make yourself as a hero. So let's talk about self talk a little bit. When I say self talk, a lot of us talk to ourselves, and we wouldn't even dare to say things we tell ourselves to our kids, to the loved one, to our partners, because sometimes it's so bad. We repeat ourselves to ourselves, I lack confidence, or I'm so stupid, or you know, shit happens to me all the time. It's just like that. And sometimes we just wear our bad, limited self-talk as a badge of honor. You don't understand it, Christy. That's who I am. That just, I mean, I'm just not a happy person. Okay? I'm just, I don't know, I'm not lucky. And it's not in the family to be lucky. I can't be successful. It's not our thing. Can you relate? Somebody can relate with that? All right. Well, understand one thing. I hope this video, this live, will make you a little bit more aware of what you are actually doing to yourself. Because if you say you are stupid, you know what your brain will do? Your brain is dumb. It's fabulous, but it's dumb. Your brain will be, oh, that is the command. We are stupid. Okay, well, let me attract what she wants. That's what she said. She said she's stupid. So let's create stupidity. And then she's going to be like, well, you see what happened? That was stupid. We will talk a little bit more about it later. So we sometimes define ourselves with our limit self-talk. And sure, we need to heal the past. Sure, we went through some very tough things. But you need to realize one thing. The past, your illness, your mental health, your bad relationship with your mother, father, grandma, don't define you. It's not a life sentence. Your words and your beliefs defines you. I'm going to tell you just a little quick story. So it's two twins, two men, going to a shrink, a psychiatrist. The first one comes and just explain that his life is depressing, that nothing good is happening in his life, that he cannot keep any job or relationships. He doesn't like himself, is in very serious depression. And the psychiatrist asked him, well, why do you think all that is happening? And he replied almost in an angry tone, like, how come? Well, what do you expect? My father is an alcoholic. That's the first one. The other twin comes. The shrink asked him, about his life. And he said, well, I'm really trying to improve my life in so many areas. I want to grow into a better version of myself. I want to find my purpose. I want to make my life worth living. And the psychiatrist asked the twin, well, how come? And he said, well, simple. My father was an alcoholic. So you see, you can take the same story and change the narrative. The first one will always be a victim because he just chose, consciously or unconsciously, that because of an alcoholic father, his life will be a mess. The other one was just seeing as an opportunity to grow. I don't want to be like my father. I want to be happy. I want to have meaningful relationships. So it's so important to understand that as mature men and women, as we are, blaming people, situation for our own unhappiness takes our power away. So you can be or a victim or a hero. there are a few things, and I'm just going to give you an example on how your inner dialogue can change yourself. But I will take an example of a plant. There was in Harvard, there was a study on two plants, same plants, exactly same plants, put it on separate room. On the first plant, we put a sign, I hate you. The other plant, the other room, put a sign, I love you. Every single day for a week, students were saying to one plant, I hate you, and to the other one, I love you. What do you think happened? After a week, the first one, I hate you, was dying. The other one was blooming. Same thing they did with rice, and there's so many other um, experiments that some scientific did with crystals as well, putting mantra and affirmation. But my point is, if by the way you talk to yourself, you realize that you can or heal yourself or poison yourself. And that is huge. Do you want to poison yourself or do you want to heal yourself? Because if you always saying bad things to your body will believe you. Your brain believes everything you're saying. And it's on command. It's like, oh, that's what she's thinking. That's what it is thinking. So that's what we will create. So let's talk a little bit about understanding once again that each time you talk to yourself, you reinforce your belief. Your belief becomes your action, and your action becomes your habits becomes your lifestyle. So changing the narrative is changing your focus, changing your energy, changing the outcome. We like that. We like that, don't we? All right. Wonderful. So how would you feel, my dear, if I tell you that you are the producer, you are the director, you are the leading role of your own life, of your own play. You also the script, the writer. But the script is been written as you go along. You know what I mean? So you can change the script. You can change your inner dialogue. You can change your narrative anytime you want. Because you are the writer. If you don't like the scene, if you don't like what's happening in your life right now, or the pattern that you've been involved for years or decades, change it. Just change it. This is how powerful we are, and we don't even realize it. So look at yourself right now. Because what you are looking, it's a preview of your life coming attraction. I've got a good news for you. What you've been doing, you're not stuck. You don't need to repeat it. It's not a life sentence. It's not. So, are you starting to be a little bit more conscious that you are what you tell yourself? And I'm here to tell you, stop. Stop. Stop believing what your programmed mind is telling you. Because you've been rehearsing like an actor. You've been rehearsing for month, year, decade, the same script, the same actions, the same belief. You programmed yourself. And now is the result. So, if you want to change that, if you want love to come into your life, I want happiness, I want peace. Well, that's what we need to do. We need to level up, to raise our standards. That's what we need to do. We need, like a radio, there are frequencies. If you listen to classical music all the time, but you really want R&B, well, what do you need to do? You need to go through things and reach the perfection. There you go. I've got the frequency, the radio that I want. The mind is the same thing. You need to reach another frequency. So be mindful. Be mindful because you become what you behold. In another saying, what you design you back. What you choose, you become. It means that our creative and linguistic choices dictate our faith. So we need to become more wise. First, we need to become aware of what is really going on in our brain, change it, and then choose, wisely. So few of you know me working with actors. When you are trying to become a role, when you become, you see the stars, you see the actors, on the Oscar and everything. You have no idea the dedication, the training that is beyond every role an actor plays. Because they're not playing themselves, they're playing somebody else. So they need to talk differently. Sometimes they need to lose weight, gain weight. They need to change. The body language needs to change. Their eyes, their intention, everything needs to change to become a role. And let me tell you, it doesn't take, just an hour or so with a good coach. No, it takes months of creating a role to make it convincing, because there is nothing more frustrating than seeing somebody on stage or on TV and say, "Oh, he's faking it." That is just horrible. And we are the leading role of our life. So transformation needs to be part of the process. I'm also working with leaders and entrepreneurs, and it's incredible. People wants to be successful. They can dress the part. They can do everything right, but somehow at one point they get stuck Why do they get stuck? It's because somewhere in their mind, there's this inner dialogue. I don't deserve to be successful. I'm not enough. In the family, we don't show up that way. And it's always the limited belief that will win the part. So that's why coaching is so important. It's like, what do your brain is programmed to think? Because that is the first thing to work on. So right now, I've got questions for you. All right. So how is your current narrative? No, I'm going to say it differently. How my current narrative is creating in my life. Just take a second and say, okay, what is my narrative doing in my life? What is it creating in my life? So that's one of the first questions. The beauty of it, it's that like nature, there are seasons in life. And I get very inspired by holy books and philosopher, and we will talk about it a little bit later. But one thing that really struck me is that verse in the Bible, in the Old Testament, Ecclesiastes, that said, there is a time for everything. To everything, there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to kill, talking about killing our old self, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up. And it goes on, a time to cry, a time to rejoice. Well, we've been bombarded with a lot of beliefs and narrative that doesn't belong to us. It comes from families, it comes from society. And there was a time for you to listen to what your parents were saying, your teacher. But being mature is about asking yourself, wait a minute, is this supporting my goal? Is this really my belief about this subject? You have to have a mind of your own. So now there is a time for changing the narrative. It needs to be. And everything change. That's the beauty of life. I mean, the whole body, the skin, the cell, everything inside and outside, the nails, everything changes. And I mean, the nails, it takes 6 months to be brand new. The hair, same thing. For the entire body, it takes 6 to 7 years to be completely transformed. So let's transform ourselves to become the best version of ourselves. So, how can we change the narrative? Well, one thing is, and that comes from an incredible book called The Fourth Agreement. It's from Don Miguel Rius. Sorry if I misspelled it. The 4 agreements seriously give you the power to create something new. And the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. And he's saying, and let me read it. The first agreement is so important, but one of the most difficult to honor. Why the word? Because the word is the power that you have, the power to create. And your word is the gift that comes directly from God, the divine, the universe. In the gospel, John, in the Bible, speaking about the creation of the universe, says, in the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word is God. Through the Word, we express our creative power. And it's through the Word that we can manifest everything. The world is the most powerful tool we have as a human. The tool is magic, but it's a double-edged sword. One edge can create living hell, and we can see it in the world. The flash that I have is what happened in Germany, Second War, whatever. Well, you know that words are so powerful. It can create or destroy. It can heal or kill. So that is the first edge. But there is another edge that creates beauty, love. And depending on which one you use, the word can seriously set you free. It can set you free from being stuck with narrative that doesn't belong to you. You holding on to narrative that doesn't support you or, well, actually nobody. So understand that your word is pure magic. Don't use it as black magic. It's pure white magic. So when we say be impeccable with your words, it means speak with integrity. It means say only what you mean. You don't want to get into a situation where you don't say what I mean, you know what I'm saying. So first, let me repeat it. Speak with integrity. Second, say only what you mean. Third, avoid using the word to speak against yourself or gossip about others. Fourth, use the power of your word in direction of truth and love. So, my dearest, let me welcome you to the transformation and the renewing of your mind. So, how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, I just talked about your word needs to be impeccable. There's something that I started doing years ago, and that seriously saved me in so many situations. It's the 3 filter test that Socrates, the Greek philosopher, uh, wrote about. It's so simple, but it's so powerful. So each time you are going to say something to yourself or to others, you need to put it through three filters. First one, is it true? What you're saying, is it true? Second, is it good or kind? Third, is it necessary? I promise you, if starting now, you put every word you say to yourself or other people in that filter, you will gain peace and strength like it's not even possible. Is it true? Is it good? Is it necessary? So I told you that I was going to ask you a few questions, and I got some cool questions. So 4 questions. You ready for it? First one. Do my choice incorporate harmony, sharing, and reverence for life? Okay, that's the first one. Does my narrative support my goals? Do my choices include intention that honors my body, my relationships, my world, and most importantly, my own soul? Last one. Are the choices I am making every day create authentic power for me? Which, by the way, comes from within when my soul and my personality are aligned. Or are my choices placing my power outside of myself, causing me to look to other people, places, things for power, approval, purpose, and directions? You see, with coaching and with my own life stories, I realize in a big way that nothing outside of myself can give me really what I need. Let me explain to you a little bit. I mean, we expect so much from other people. We expect our parents to love us unconditionally, to take care of our needs. We expect our partner, our lover, our friends to respect us, to know what our desire are, to nourish our self, our soul, to love them, to love us the right way. We expect our boss to be incredible. Or if we're a boss, our workers, our colleagues, to be exceptional. We expect so much, and we are so pissed when it's not the case. Well, I'm so pissed because my partner, well, he didn't respect me, or he didn't treat me right, or he didn't love me right. Let me tell you one thing. Nobody has the job to do, well, nobody has that job. You're supposed to be the one giving yourself all that. You are supposed to love yourself the right way, to know yourself, to discover yourself, to give yourself the tools, the well being that you need. So don't expect other people to fulfill you. You have to fulfill your own self. You need to put that narrative and to say, I'm enough. I love myself. When was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror and say, Boo, you look so good. I'm so proud of you. When was, if ever, did you send yourself a love letter or put a note on your mirror saying, hey, I got you. You can trust me. I got you. I know what you need. That is powerful. You still with me? So, step to rewrite your story. First, become aware of your self talk. Really aware, very conscious of what you're saying to yourself. Then start saying, I am, and put some beautiful, positive words after. Instead of saying, I'm stupid, say, I'm a learner. I am beautiful. I'm loved. I cherish myself and the people around me. I welcome abundance. I'm a peaceful soul. Rewrite a new story, even if your brain is like, what you doing to me? That is nah. Your brain is just there to do the job and to attract what you're saying. So start by saying I am and make something beautiful after. I like that one. Start laughing at your own bullshit. Because when you start to be aware, you start, well, you start laughing about yourself. You're like, oh my God, that is so BS. That is so BS. But it's okay. Don't judge. You're just aware of your BS now. You can change. That's another one I want to share with you. Go laugh in places you have cried. Let me tell you that a year ago I went through hell. It was a very difficult year, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Everything went berserk, and I was very, sad and depressed. I didn't know what to do, and I started to. I cried a lot, but because I live in a building, when I cry, I mean, it's not loudly, but I mean, you can hear it. I decided to go and take a bath and put my head in the water and cry so nobody can hear me. I did that for a month. When I started to get better, I didn't even realize it, but I was not taking bath anymore. I didn't realize it. And one day I'm like, oh, I'm going to take a bath. And my mind and my body was like putting me back into a narrative of sadness. I was like, no, I can't go back there. I can't take a bath because it's going to throw me back to that narrative. And I don't want it. I don't want to relieve that. But then I'm like, well, let's change the narrative. Changing the narrative. I put some music on. I did the whole thing and I laughed so hard. I changed the narrative. I'm like, my narrative will not stop me to do something that's super cool. So just changing the narrative. Going back to go laugh in the places you have cried. Another thing, start visualizing what your life movie can be. I mean, remember, you are the leading role. They need you. They will not fire you if you change the narrative because you are the producer, you're the writer. So start visualizing how your movie can be. And by doing that, you will reprogram unconsciously, like, oh, there's a new narrative. Oh, okay, there are new feelings. Oh, okay, well, we can create new habits. Oh, okay, we can change a few things. So by starting visualizing, it's like a preview. And what's happening with a preview? It's impossible to have a preview if the movie is not made. So you create a preview for your brain, and it will create a movie. I love that. One of the things I want to tell you, it's take some risk, be uncomfortable in situations and in conversations. Be uncomfortable. It's actually a good thing because you feel alive. You're like, oh my God, when was the last time I did something for the first time? Oh my God, I'm so trained to have that kind of conversation in dinners and stuff like that. Well, let me change a subject that I don't know about. And oh, okay, well, now you feel alive. You're not just a parrot that talks words that he doesn't understand. So that's good. Take risks, be uncomfortable, change a narrative. And be like, I'm changing the narrative, so I don't know what I'm saying, but that's something that I want to work on. There you go. Affirmation. That is one of the tools that I use, and that's amazing. It's been in place for centuries, 5,000 years before Christ in Bhagavad Gita. The conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. And Krishna was teaching Arjuna the power of affirmation. Being in control of our mind means that you need to repeat, you repeat, not once, not twice, no, you got to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until your brain just does it himself, So affirmation, even if it sounds weird to you, start saying fabulous thing to yourself. Say, I am powerful beyond measure. That, like Nelson Mandela said, I am powerful beyond measure. I am enough. I see you, my true essence. I know who you really are. I respect you. I love you. I honor you. I recognize you. Start doing affirmation that builds up your day. Wake up in the morning, go in front of the mirror and repeat to yourself what you need to repeat to put yourself in the right mood, the right vibe, because when you get the frequency, that's what you attract. That's just what you attract. That's it. That's why mantra and affirmation are incredible. It can change your whole life. So, affirmation, do that. Start doing that. How are we doing? Good? All right. So, in conclusion, we are the creator of our life. We can or decide to be a victim or a hero. We've got the creating force, the creating power inside of us. Nobody can say, well, I'm not really, I'm not creative. Yes, you are, because everything you see around you, or when you look at yourself in the mirror, it's what you created. So you are a creator. You've got creative power, and it's your words, it's your belief. So, one thing that I always tell my client is it's people emulate the end result, but not the process. And the process is so important. It takes time. It takes the right narrative, the right tools, the right sacrifice, the willpower. But winners practice every day. So, are you willing to change your life, to transform your life, to change your narrative? Are you willing to put that sort of commitment? Because if you are, I'm your coach. I am your coach, and I will help you to turn your life around and make you the best version of yourself. Let me just finish with a quote that Steve Jobs said. He said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Let me just repeat it. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the result of other people thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinion drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. That was Steve Jobs. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that you've got some takeaway, some question you can ask yourself, some tools, some inspiration. And I wish you, with all my heart, the best. I'm your coach, Christy Evenepoel, and I wish you a beautiful evening. Much love.